Hey YouTube, league turnover today. It is Great League, Ultra League, and Master League. So we're looking at Ultra League here, and we are looking at a new #1 ranked Pokemon in Ultra League, Corviknight. So we're going to go over a little more in depth here why it is the #1 ranked Pokemon. I kind of covered it a bit in my Corviknight analysis on Monday, but we're going to look at it here. The rest of the rankings for Ultra League, and then a team with Corviknight, and then not even teams to counter it, because I don't think you're going to see a lot of it, but just like other top teams that I think are going to be very strong in this meta. So Corviknight is the #1 Pokemon. Why is it the #1 Pokemon? So there's a very simple, just way to look at Great League Pokemon and determine whether they're going to be good in Ultra League. There's only I sound like a broken record here, but there's only 3 things you need to look at to see whether Pokemon's good or not: their stat product, their typing, and their moveset. So what made this Pokemon so strong, if you look at my Great League analysis this morning or my analysis on Monday, is that it is basically Skarmory, has the bulk of Skarmory with a little higher attack, has the typing of Skarmory where you only have 2 weaknesses, electric and fire, which are not super prevalent in either the Great League or Ultra League. And then you have an insane amount of resistances: double resisting poison, double resisting grass, double resisting bug, and single resisting steel, psychic, normal, ground, flying, fairy, and dragon. So of course, when you resist 10 freaking typings, you become a very, very strong Pokemon. Combine that with a good bulk. As you can see, it gets up to level 48.5 with a 0, 15, 15, and a moveset which is the charge moves are not overpowering. In fact, they buffed it and nerfed it, buffed it and nerfed it. They gave it Drill Peck, took it away because it would have been too powerful, but does have Sand Attack, and Sand Attack is a 4 energy per turn move, so faster charging on something like this than a Skarmory. So you have a basically faster charging Skarmory without the Brave Bird. You have an Iron Head Sky Attack. What makes this Pokemon so strong is with the faster charging moves, as we look at the matchups here, you're going to lose the ones you're supposed to lose. Fire, you're Steel. You have 2 weaknesses. Fire is going to light you up. What's not on this is Electric, because there's not a lot of Electric Pokemon in Ultra League. You're going to lose to the Electric as well. But then it goes into you're going to lose the ones you're supposed to lose. What about the other ones? And the other ones, as soon as you start seeing this 388, 392, 400, it means you lose, but you're not completely out of the matchup. You're not overpowered. Your opponent's not going to have full health or 100 energy coming out. It means that you're going to chip them enough and you're going to put them low enough that it's a pretty good scenario here. So having these 400, these are losses, and they're some very meta Pokemon: Cobalion, Primeape, Drifblim, Moltres, Feraligatr, right? These are Pokemon that are very prevalent in the meta, but not super hard losses is not bad. And then you got some nice, not super hard wins, but nice wins: Giratina, Licky Licky, Cresselia, Annihilate, Guzzlord, Drapion, right? So good wins, and then you're supposed to win the ones you're supposed to win. Venus, the poisons, the grass, the fairies, anything that you resist, you're supposed to win, right? So that's what makes it super strong. Has everything that you're looking for. Like I said, I've got a team with it coming up next, but I don't think you need to build around beating it. This thing is Egg Lock and Magnetic Lure locked. Maybe the Magnetic Lure, depending on how many you have, if you do little parties, if you sit on a bunch of stops and just kind of grind all day, maybe you can get the XLs for this Pokemon quickly. But I'm expecting to see it a lot in the Great League, not as much in the Ultra League. And the rest of the Ultra League rankings do not switch up. Feraligatr, Primeape, Steelix, Zygarde, Gastrodon, Registeel, Feraligatr, Giratina, Clefable, Cobalion, Drapion, Weezing, Dusknoir, Regirock, yada yada yada. It's basically the same, right? Cress. It is the same Ultra League with a new top Pokemon, which is what we saw in the Great League, right? It is the same Great League rankings with Corviknight sticked in at number 6 and a slight switch in rankings here and there by 1 or 2 spots. It doesn't this Pokemon does not make one new Pokemon does not make other Pokemon completely irrelevant, right? It's just small changes here and there. So with that, we'll build with the new Pokemon, and we will showcase some top teams. And the new Pokemon, I kind of made a joke, and you could, instead of Feraligatr, use a Gastrodon again, but it's the oldest team known to man. It's a Skarmory, right? So just replace Skarmory, and then I put in Feraligatr here just because I think Feraligatr, and although it does not resist the electric and it actually takes super effective from the electric. Unlike a Mudboy, the smart play, if you want to team build the, I don't want to call it smart. It is smart, but it's also like the most basic way to build is a Mudboy. So you go Corviknight on the lead, Giratina as the safe swap, and a Mudboy, and Gastrodon is ranked high. So if you have a Gastrodon XL, Gastrodon makes more sense. But not a lot of people have Gastrodon. More people have Feraligatr. So although you are double weak to electric, I'm not as worried about that. You also have Giratina, which can beat most electric. So that is why it's, I think, strong. Is Morpeko in this league? I don't even remember if Morpeko. I'm just actually curious now. Sorry. 181. So there are more Pekos at 181, which would be a little bit of a problem. But like, between resisting the electric on Giratina and the spamminess of these Pokemon, I think you can, and the Sand Attack, right? The fast move is Sand Attack on Corviknight, so you can combo it if you really, really need to. Okay, here's some other top teams that I've showcased during this season so far. Typhlosion, Cresselia, Moltres. So on top of being what is generally a balanced team, right? Typhlosion weak to water, rock. No, actually, you know what? It's not a super balanced team because you resist the ground on Moltres, but you are both double weak to rock. And then it's not like Moltres has an answer to water. Depending on the water, it could actually do, because again, you have Gastrodon, which you resist the ground. You have Feraligatr, which you resist the Shadow Claw. So, Moltres is not a bad cover for Typhlosion. And then you have a super bulky crest with Grass Knot, which can kind of help your weaknesses. Now, this team is, you can play this team two ways, depending on how you're reading the matchup on the lead. So you have Typhlosion, which is very glassy, but so hard hitting. You have Moltres, which is pretty hard hitting and somewhat glassy, but not a glass cannon by any means. Then you have Crest, which is super, super bulky. So you have two options. Option number one, Typhlosion, 2 shield, align in the back how you want. So basically, if it's not like if it's a water or something, you got to get out. But if it's not, if it's a neutral matchup, you can just stay in and incinerate and maybe bait Thunder Punch or just go straight Blast Burn and grab shields or take out and just dominate that way. Double shield and then align in the back. Crests can absorb some energy if they have energy. If it's a ghost, you have your dark, right? So you can align there. Option number two is try to grab shields with Typhlosion. So you have the lead. You're just going to straight Blast Burn. Try to grab shields. Try and do as much damage as you can. Lose the lead. Crest comes in and absorb, probably up a shield, ideally. Crest comes in, just absorbs all that energy. And then you try to run 2 shield Moltres in the back. So if you're going to play something like this, where you have a very bulky Pokemon with a very glassy Pokemon, and then your third is depending on what it is, that's how I would play out the team. Zygarde, Feraligatr, Drapion. If you have a Zygarde, congratulations. If you do not, put in Dragonite, put in other Pokemon. The point of the backline is you can't go wrong with the backline, because if backline is Feraligatr, Drapion, they are probably the 2 top safe swaps in the Ultra League. I would not be surprised if they are 1 and 2. This one's running Sludge Bomb. I would probably run Aqua Tail. Sludge Bomb does allow you to catch your opponent off guard, right? If they come in with like a grass or they wouldn't come into a grass into a poison, that would be not smart. But if they come in something where poison actually hits neutral, or like if you're against when this will come in handy, if you're against like a dark, if you're against a Guzzlord or you're against a Umbreon, they're generally not going to shield an Aqua Tail and Crunch is resisted. But if you have a Sludge Bomb, you can actually chip really hard. I personally would prefer Aqua Tail just for the spamminess sake. So yeah, both Drapion and Feraligatr are 2 insane safe swaps. Again, both kind of glassy, so more bulk on the front with Zygarde. Dark Double Poison. Dark Double Poison, speaking about Season 1 teams, holy smokes. The Dark Double Poison or Poison Double Dark were both Season 1 teams. And basically you're safe swapping Weezing to try and draw out a ground, or basically you have 2 answers in the back for Fairy, which Guzzlord is double weak to. But you're also trying to draw to ground. You'll chip it with Brutal Swing, chip it with Overheat. Guzzlord, although not a direct answer to ground, can deal pretty good damage with Dragon Tail, Dragon Claw, and Crunch, sweep up, and then the other one roams free. Tentacruel also has Scald for ground. This one again is running Sledge Wave. That's why you have two options here. You can just run with this exact same team and moveset. You either run Wheezing as the safe swap, or you can put Blizzard on Tentacruel, and I think you have a little more coverage with your Blizzard if you go against something like a Giratina that would resist poison and water. So having a Blizzard to catch it off guard, not even off guard, like Blizzard is a pretty recommended moveset with this Pokemon. And finally, my fun one. If you want to have some fun, I call this the if you want to have fun and do well team. Zapdos, Feraligatr, Mewtwo, Armored Mewtwo. Yeah, so I know people are going to look at this team like, well, that's not accessible. I know, I'm sorry. But I think Shadow Zapdos was always one of my fun ones to play with. And I think even now it was super strong just with all like the waters and some ground Pokemon. But now with Corviknight, I think it's even stronger. Feraligatr safe swap. And then in the back, Armored Mewtwo to just have bulk, right? Zapdos and Feraligatr are both glassy. So have bulk, kind of a fun one to play with. Has Dynamic Punch for steals, and then you just have the Side Strike if you see a fighter in confusion. Side Strike is just going to annihilate them. So kind of fun from that perspective. So that is it. Let me know. I'm sorry. Let me know if you're going to play Ultra League, but I don't care because we're not going to cover it. I'm sorry. The views are not there. We have Great League on for the first time in weeks. Everyone's going to be playing great. Not everyone. If people are going to be watching and they're going to be looking for teams, they're going to be looking for Great League teams. I'm sorry. I know there are very, very loyal Ultra League and Master League players here, and both of them are on. So please enjoy the Ultra League and Master League. But I have got to imagine maybe you'll do one Ultra League team on like a weekend or something. But I've got to imagine that we are doing, if we're going to showcase 13 teams this week, 12 out of the 13 are going to be Great League, and then we'll do one maybe Ultra League. So if you want to submit some battles, preferably for the Great League with that spiel, link in the description. If you want to play Ultra League, not saying I won't showcase an Ultra League team, but it'll be more unlikely that I will showcase. So just FYI if you are submitting. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.